It's showtime.
What's up guys, Django Fett here, hunting down games, comics, TV shows, movies, and more, and back with a Studio Ghibli movie review, and this is The Cat Returns. Now I thought that the Ghibli Fest was pretty much over last year, but it's actually still going on this year. I'll put a list for the movies right over here. I missed a couple of them, but this one I could not skip. There's a couple of repeats as well from last year, but there's actually a really good amount that are coming out later this year as well. So I will be planning on watching those that I haven't seen from last year, so I'm pretty excited for that. So let us start with The Cat Returns, which came out in 2002 and is based around the manga, directed by Hiroyuki Murata, who was the lead animator for many works you might have known about, Tenchi Forever, Ghost in the Shell 2, the movie, Afro Samurai, Tales from Earthsea, which is not a particularly good film, but Full Metal Alchemist, a lot of great stuff. So he directed this film, and you can tell this one had a more distinctive vibe than compared to previous Studio Ghibli films, and it's just so evident. It's a completely different team, and I'm fine with that. Even though it's not as good as previous works and the distinctive, character models, the faces, it still had the heart and soul of a Studio Ghibli film, and it works to this day. So it's centered around a girl named Haru, who's a high school student, kind of clumsy, and she ends up saving this special cat. This cat ends up being a prince to the Cat Kingdom, and she undergoes this adventure where she's captured and she has to find a way to escape. She befriends a couple of people before she gets captured, and it's just a great adventure overall. So the cast involved, I think this is by far the best cast, the best English casting for any Studio Ghibli film I've seen. Like, these names are just incredible. So I'll read to you some of the cast members and you'll recognize them instantly, but it's just like, it's so crazy how they got so many great voice actors and actresses into this movie. It's pretty crazy to me. So the first lead, Haru, is actually voiced by Anne Hathaway. Baron Humbert von Gigenkchen, or I'll just call him Baron, voiced by Carrie Elves, such as The Princess Bride, Glory, Robin Hood Men in Tights. I mean, he's been in a lot of great stuff. Peter Boyle, who actually plays as Muta, he's actually from Everybody Loves Raymond. He's like the grandpa in that. He was a fantastic choice, and I think by far my favorite character in this whole movie. He just added so much humor and just lightened the mood quite a lot, and I loved every time he was on there. He played as like this fat cat, and it was just, oh god, it was funny as hell. I was cracking up the whole time. Toto, voiced by Elliot Gould. The Cat King, voiced by Tim Curry. Naoko, I think is the mother, is voiced by Christine Sunderland. And then Hiromi, who is the best friend to Haru, you don't really see much of her, is voiced by Kristen Bell. She has a very minor role, but Kristen Bell in this, wow. What's interesting about this is this movie would actually incorporate into another movie called Whisper of the Heart. There were a couple of Easter eggs that are incorporated into Whisper of the Heart. I thought that was pretty cool, but the movie in itself, Whisper of the Heart, not a particularly good film. I think it's one of the worst of the Studio Ghibli films, not a particularly good one, but it's still a pretty cool nod to The Cat Returns. So I'm gonna say this right now, I love this movie. I think it's just fantastic from beginning to end, and I think it's the most underrated of all Studio Ghibli films that not many people are talking about. Nobody's talking about this particular film, and I just love it to this day. Now, the only problem that I have with this movie is it's way too short. The pacing is fine. Don't get me wrong. The pacing is good. It works for this film. But it's just way too short. I wanted a longer movie because it's only like 75 minutes, which is like an hour and 15 minutes or 10 minutes. That's not that much at all. Like, for a movie, like nowadays, that's like 2 hours. It's pretty standard. And I think an hour and 30, maybe even 2 hours, would have been great to add to this movie, because I loved when they actually traversed to the human world to the cat world. And I wish you could spend more time in that cat world, because I just found that more intriguing and just had a blast when I was there. This movie retains the spirit of Studio Ghibli films, plus it's very charming. It's an extremely charming film with tons of heart and soul, as is with every other Studio Ghibli film, but all of them are special in their own ways. And this is mostly about cats, and I love cats. I'm a big cat guy. I got a cat myself. My sister has a cat, and you know, we like to invite our cats together because they end up being good buddies. And in the end, I'll show pictures of my cats because I love them. I love my cat. His name is Boba, named after Boba Fett. My sister's cat is named Muiza, and he's a tuxedo. Mine is a brown tabby. And I could just go on and talking about my cat because I love cats, man. So this movie was made for cat lovers, and even if you don't like cats, this movie will probably not appeal to you, but it's still got that heart and soul that many Studio Ghibli films have, and it will still grab you. So I am gonna give The Cat Returns a It's absolutely worth your time. It's just one of the most incredible and underrated Studio Ghibli films that is never talked about at all. And I'm so glad, really glad that they brought this film for the Ghibli Fest. I'm really glad that they did that. So the next couple films I'm not really sure about. I'm definitely going to watch Grave of the Fireflies, Princess Mononoke. But this one I could not ignore because I love this movie with a passion, as is with every other Studio Ghibli films, but this one always I remember just seeing this with, you know, my family and just like really enjoying the hell out of it. We all had a good time, and we still enjoy it to this day. I mean, if we end up watching it again, we'll all still have a blast nonetheless. So this movie has a special place in my heart as a cat lover, and just as a movie in general, it's just fantastic. So thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to please like this video, comment down below, tell me what you think of this movie if you have seen it, or what other movies you're looking forward to the Ghibli Fest that's going on this year. I'm so glad that's still happening. Hopefully they end up having a year 3 with other Studio Ghibli films, because they haven't even shown all of them just yet. So I'd like to see year 3 having more Studio Ghibli films. Hell, I'd be excited. I'd be ecstatic for that. And don't forget to donate to my Patreon if you can. Subscribe to my channel, Django Fett, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Ooh, yeah!